Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm your host, the Incredible Sulk, and I hope you guys are doing good tonight. No one here. Scott's here. Scott's here. Scott, did you get a notification? David's here. Did you guys get notifications? Is Rumble just crap in the bed again? Is that what's going on? I'm honestly wondering, am I going to be able to stream tonight, or is it just going to be a catastrophe with Rumble? Is YouTube having these problems? No, I doubt that. I doubt that, because Rumble's putting all its money into not me. But that's fine. That's okay. I'm not going to be bitter about it. I'm just going to do my show. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I do every night. I'm going to do my show. Thank you guys for coming. Tonight we're doing Park Sloppers. Disney adults, people that go to Disneyland as full-grown human adults, and that's not the issue specifically. It's without kids. People who make their lives about Disney. People even live at Disney, right? Celebration Village, and you can't move to Celebration Village unless you got cash. They're $1 million homes. And the people that live in those places have never seen poverty in their lives. It's one of those old boomers that their idea of poverty was being able to buy a house for $1,800 back in the day. Yeah, it's a fantasy. We'll go to the next one. The entire thing about Disney, it is a fantasy. It's designed to hold you away from the real world. And this is probably why they're so popular with young girls and then adult women after that. I know some adult women that are still obsessed with Disney, and it's very strange. It's a very strange kind of psychology to be in, right? Because you're held back. You have this arrested development, and you kind of not only like Disney as, let's say, a 30-year-old woman, but you're also childlike in your mannerisms and your vocal patterns and basically everything else about you. Maybe there was some terrible incident that happened to you as a child, and this is your brain's way of compensating, comforting you for that. We're remaining as a 4-year-old for your entire life. I don't think that's the case with the vast majority of Park Sloppers. I think it's just people that ended up not having kids or chose not to have kids and decided to live for themselves, which is a decision. I don't think it's the right decision, but it's a decision. And this is how they want to face eternity. This is how they want to go down. Going to Disneyland and going on rides and eating copious amounts of food, disgusting amounts of food, when you're already so fat. I don't understand people's decisions, but I shouldn't try, because it's just going to frustrate and anger me, and I don't want to be angry, guys. I don't. That whistling documentary pissed me off. It pissed me off. Right? Maybe it was just like overstimulating and the pitches were too high. It just made me mad. I don't want to be mad, right? I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be pessimistic. But my God, give me another option. Give me another option to be hopeful, right? Me witnessing these Park Sloppers is just, it's the cherry on top of the shit cake. You know, like this is the populace that I have to live with. That's going to go forward, and then I have to raise my kids in. Okay. All right. I understand the challenge. Anyways, let's get rolling. Let's get rocking. Get comfy, get cozy. Go to the bathroom now. I'm not turning this shit around. Get a bottle of something nice. Maybe some blue milk from the Disney stall, or some Mickey's beer. Honestly, that is a real beer, and it's gross. It comes in hand grenades. I mean, if you're getting drunk, it really doesn't matter. After the first couple drinks, you'll drink anything. So Mickey's hand grenades, be my guest. If you're working, keep working, I guess. Keep working until the end. If you're driving, don't drink Mickey's hand grenades. That seems like a pretty reasonable request, but it's pretty difficult for a lot of people, especially on a repeat basis. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming. It is a Thursday, January 23rd. Trump has been president for 3 days, and people already cannot shut up. Cannot shut up about it. Oh, and John McAfee's back from the dead. Because whatever. 2025 is here, so, you know, all rules of physics and reason and logic are off. So John McAfee is back from the dead, and who knows how that's going to turn out. Probably spectacularly, right? John McAfee is not one to, you know, pull his punches. And if he faked his death for the last 3 years, it is probably for a good reason. Boy, it's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to fucking roll. I'm just going to let it ride, man. I'm just going to, like, let my eyes roll back into my head and just take the beating that is the 2020s so far. Damn, it's been a rough decade. We are barely halfway through it. We are barely halfway through the 2020s. Do you guys remember the beginning of the 2020s? Because I kind of don't. It was just a blur of fear porn and, like, you know, everyone's gonna die. And some people did. And then war. Halfway through it, guys. We're halfway through it till we make it to 2030. If we make it to there at all, who knows what's gonna happen. I'm just glad you guys are here. I'm glad we're here. We can share this moment. We can share this experience together. So I am the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream. And this is called a deep dive into Disney adults.
Curtis Connor.
Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? How's it going? And if you're coming back, what's up? How's it going? It's really good to see you
This
again.
guy.
I hope you're doing well. You see what happens when you subscribe to my channel? You get an extra greeting. So do it. Folks.
This guy.
All right, Disney fans.
Not the biggest fan of this
Mickey
guy,
Mouse.
but I mean, he honestly does some pretty entertaining work. So I'm not going to bust his balls for that. And he gets a lot of views. So whatever.
Ears. I'm about to get controversial.
Who's here?
Not really,
Scott, David.
That's not what this video is going to be. I just kind of wanted to
Background
make that
noise.
Mickey Mouse ears joke. So we all know Disney, right?
I should be recording my stuff. I should always be recording my stuff because I can't trust Rumble to record it. David, background noise, couch surfing. Ardenshire. Okay, good.
Billion-dollar entertainment company.
Everybody's
started by
here.
A man named Walt Disney in the 1920s.
Well,
that's
some of you were
responsible
here.
for some of the most popular
Where the hell
iconic
is
movies of all
everybody?
time. They own Pixar and Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm and 21st Century Fox and pretty much everything else at Disney. Disney films actually played a huge role in my childhood, and I'm sure they played a huge role in yours.
Notification hit at 5 after 8. So it's a Rumble thing, isn't it? It's a Rumble thing. Rumble's just shitting the bed again. And I was like, why is nobody here? It's Rumble. And it's probably maybe not even doing it on accident. It's just doing it on purpose and just shitting on my channel. Fine. It's probably the people I associate with, and I totally understand Rumble.
As well. I had an extensive
Mersh is not your
VHS
biggest fan,
collection of all
and,
the old
neither is
Disney
Royce.
movies, and I would watch Fox and the Hound like every other day, dude. Cried every time. And I also went to Disney World in Florida when I was 3.
Ardenshire says, is John McAfee really alive again? Wouldn't that make him Jesus Christ? No. John McAfee did not die. He didn't rise from the dead. He faked his death in Spain, or he got his account hacked, right? But I think it's John McAfee. Other people disagree. There was rumors going around that he was still alive in Texas, and I think that's... I mean, John McAfee said he had terabytes of blackmail against all world leaders that was on a dead man switch. So if he was actually killed in Spain in that Spanish prison, I would figure it would be a very different world today. That dead man switch did not go off. So it leads me to believe that he is still alive. And John McAfee, if anybody can fake their death, it's John McAfee. That's all I'm saying. I don't know for a fact that it's him. Seems like him, though, right? I mean, I think it is him.
3 years old, and I don't remember a second of it. I don't remember anything of it at all, because I was 3 years old. So it's a good thing my parents spent all that money. And I'll admit it, okay? Disney knows how to make a good movie.
Hey, dirty brown soul.
It's a goddamn masterpiece, okay? That film should be projected on a wall in the Louvre. All right? I Louvre it. And since people hold these Disney movies...
Arden Shara says that he did hang out with the elites and hookers. He banged a lot of hookers. That was his, like, bread and butter, his hookers. All types, and shit on hammock, you know, make a girl sit in a hammock and then poop on him through the hammock. I don't want to kink shame John McAfee. I feel like there's pretty bad. Well, maybe that's one shame. Maybe I will kink shame. That's weird, John McAfee. That's weird. But he's got a whole list of other things that are dubious actions at best. So he's more notorious than he is famous. But he is famous, and he is a billionaire. So I'm excited. I'm petrified to see what's happening in 2025, because who knows? 2024 started off with aliens in a mall. And whatever. What kind of weird simulation are we in? This cannot be real. Am I dreaming? Am I dreaming of this? Right? Was I killed, or was I like knocked unconscious, like in a car accident years ago? And then I fathomed up that I am this like streamer that has like a beautiful wife and kids, and I live this picturesque life and stuff, because it seems like something I would imagine. And if somebody wakes me up from that, they will get choked to death. I will choke them. If I wake up in a fucking hospital bed and like it's all been a dream, right? And I'm like 20 years old again, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be mad, dude. Because like, it wasn't always ideal for me. It has been a rough road. And I've developed to the point where I'm pretty happy with myself. And to get that just taken away from me in some sort of Black Mirror kind of Twilight Zone. Oh, you woke up. You've been in a coma for 6 months. I'm just going to, I'll off myself. I will just off myself, right? I will take the IV out of my arm and I'll wrap it around my neck and I'll be like, nope. I will nope my way right out of there. But then I wake up again in another reality where they're all like, how was your dream vacation, Dr. John? And then my brain will melt. It'll just melt, right? Because I cannot escape existence. I just cannot escape existence. So, so that's what's going on with me. Hopefully you guys are a little bit more tethered to reality, whatever reality that may be.
So close to their hearts. Some people really go all out with their admiration for the Walt Disney Company well into their adulthood. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Jake Wickham says, I hate the Zoomer faggot. Yeah, I get it. He's a millennial, though. Yeah, he's not a Zoomer. He's at the young end of millennial. He's like 30. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a millennial. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him either. But whatever. It's content. You guys are here. I don't give a shit.
Unfortunately, the only definition I could find for Disney adults was on Urban Dictionary, so apologies.
He's got a fucking nose ring. Who has a nose ring, dude? What dude has a nose ring? At least it's not like a septum one, right? Because, like, but a nose ring on a guy is just, what if I came on the show, right? And I had a nose ring just right here. Should I do it? Should I go on Daywave and just, like, have a nose ring and then just not say anything to anybody else? Because they will rip on me mercilessly. And I will deserve it. Because what asshole gets a nose ring? What man gets a nose ring? That shit is, I mean, obviously you're never going to get into a fight, or you plan on never getting into a fight. Because if I was got in a fight with you, I'd be ripping that shit right out. That's the first thing I would go for. And you know what you would do? You would cry. Your eyes would at least water up. You know?
So according to Urban Dictionary, a Disney adult is a millennial adult with or without kids that can't stop talking about Disney, including the movies and the parks. Even if they do have kids, they're still way more obsessed with it than their kids ever would be. They probably engage in casual Disney bounding, which we'll talk about later, and visit the theme parks at least once a year.
Disney bounding, which is just going to Disney a lot. Royce goes to Disney a lot, but he doesn't have kids, and he goes to Epcot and just gets drunk and stuff. And you know, I don't know if he's a Disney adult, but he's dangerously close.
They're obsessed with everything Disney and probably have a Mickey Mouse bumper sticker and or tattoo. One of the most terrifyingly intense people you'll ever encounter. Okay. Now that's the problem with Urban Dictionary. No one can just give a definition, you know? They always have to like throw their own opinion in there at the end. Could you imagine if like Webster's Dictionary did that? You look up the definition of peanut and it says, the oval seed of a South American plant, widely roasted and salted and eaten as a snack. I don't like them. I'm allergic. But you can get the general public's opinion based on that definition.
This guy's a comedian, I guess, but he makes good money.
Alone.
So
people just think Disney adults are weird and cringe.
Disney adults are weird and cringe. They are weird and cringe. But you know who's worse? The people who work at Disney. The people who work at Disney are trash. I mean, they are the most communist, like socialist sons of bitches you have ever met. They suck, dude. They all have the same opinion, and it's all hot garbage. They have terrible takes on everything. They're hardcore socialists almost every single time. The people who work at Disney, all of them are like that. So yeah. I don't like the people at Disney. I don't even like going to Disney specifically, right? And I do have kids. It's just like it's a pain, and it's fake, and it's overpriced, and then you get a bunch of people that are like, I don't know, man. I don't like going to Disney. Not my place.
And a few years ago, I for sure would have made a video just, roasting these people, goofing on them. Because, silly adult. Disney for kids. But dude, I'm 20.
Dick Rickham says drinking around the world and riding those rides is fine. It's buying all the merch that makes Disney adult a Disney adult. Peak consumerism. Yeah. So did you see the videos, the lives we were watching about people that go to Disney or whatever theme park and they go shopping for people on the internet? I mean, that's a way to make your money. But it's also like, come on, man. Whatever. I don't have anything to say about that. It is kind of a clever idea, but it's also lame. That's also lame as shit. But whatever. You'll make a few dollars. I can't imagine they make a ton of money. I just can't.
I'm an adult. I feel like instead of just making fun of something I don't understand, it's better for me to just try to understand it and then make fun of it. Because I'll admit it, some Disney adults do weird things. Like, here's a hypothetical thing a Disney adult might do. Like, maybe they'll make a TikTok about trying all the water from inside the park.
Yo! That's not a good idea. I spit in that water. Dude, you know how many kids put their hands in that water? You're going to get the flu, but not just any flu. You're going to get like a real, fresh off the boat from China flu, or like some little black kid is going to, puke in it. I don't know, dude. It's just, that's disgusting. That's gross. That's like drinking the water out of a Small World ride. Dangerous. You will be getting sick. Why have the mask? Well, I know why, because Disney requires it. I was at Disney one time during the peak of COVID, and I went outside of my hotel room maskless. because I was a Maverick, and that's how I wanted to play it. And every person I walked by said, "Do you have a mask?" I'm like, "No." "Do you?" And they said, "No." And so that's how I just walked around, right? I said, "No, I don't have a mask. Do you have a mask?" And nobody else had a mask. So I was like, okay, I guess I don't have a mask then. And there's nothing they can do. So unless they wanted to bring me a mask, right? Then I would have been like, fine, I'll put it on. But I'm not bringing my own masks. I don't like Disney.
Grade it 1 to 10, and they'll include all the gross fountains with pennies in it and rivers and shit, and then we'll get banned.
You know, the pennies and the coins might actually help it, because I don't know if there's any actual silver. There's none. Or copper left in. But if coins were still made of silver and copper, that would help kill the bacteria in the water. That's actually how throwing a coin into like a wishing well started, because people used to throw coins into their water supply to keep it fresh, like silver coins and copper coins, because it has a natural antibacterial effect. So put that information in your pocket.
And from Disney, because obviously that's the weirdest thing you could ever do.
Do they still require masks?
That might happen, but no one would actually ever do that, right? It'd be insane.
I just got banned by Disney.
So folks, today we are going to take a close look at the world of Disney adults, and I'm going to try my best to understand why they do the things that they do. Disclaimer: if you are a Disney adult, please don't get mad at me. Fair warning, I might take the piss out of it a little bit in this video because I still want this to be a little funny. But at the end of the day, seriously, I just want to learn. I just want to see what all the fuss is about.
Take the piss out of it. That's for British people. Don't say, you're an American. Don't say British people phrases.
Let's see what's up. You know, like the movie. Okay, so when you search Disney,
I can't blame the guy for making an effort, right? But again, what has this got? How many views does this have? 18 million views. He made a pretty penny off of this video. So my review of his comedy is not going to hold much weight with my 14 people in the chat. So there you go, Curtis. You win. I don't have to like his comedy, though. I do not.
Adults on Google Trends, pretty stagnant up until about September 2009, which is actually right around the time where Disney acquired Marvel Entertainment. So my guess is that articles were using the term Disney and the word adults like more often than usual when they were writing about this. So it's a little tough to find the actual origin of the term Disney adult, but I mean, pretty obvious as adults. What else do you call adults obsessed with Disney, right? Don't say it. Losers. I'm kidding. Obviously, Disney movies aren't just for
rape bait. Right, because they got fiddled by Mickey Mouse. They got fiddled by a kid or an adult in a costume or something like that. There has to be some sort of sexual abuse that goes into, or some sort of PTSD that goes into people who become Disney adults. They're not full-grown humans, right? They act. They operate their lives as if they are a below puberty child. And it's oftentimes women, but I see grown men all the time with their like red hair and their glasses and stuff with their little faces. There's a very specific look, right? There's a very specific look to the male Disney adult. Right, he's got a Star Wars shirt on, right? He's got a Star Wars shirt on, and he thinks he's hip and stuff, and he goes on Reddit all the time. And you know, he's in a polyamorous relationship with his fat girlfriend, and this is his day to pay for them to go to Disney, and maybe he might get some sex out of it. I highly doubt it, right? I highly doubt it, because she's got 5 other boyfriends. 4 or 5 other boyfriends, something like that. You know exactly the type I'm. Not quite like this guy. Not like this individual, right? But close. but close. Just a few more tweaks. If he ages to a certain point and adopts these mannerisms, then he's going that. But I don't think he will. He seems to be doing fine. But you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're picturing them in your head. You're picturing the person I'm describing to you in your head. Okay, let's move on.
For kids, I know that. Don't look up
Hey,
Disney
JD.
adult films, though. That's probably a bad idea. Or maybe it's a good idea. Who knows? Most Disney movies, like, actually...
JD says, is this fella mugging me off? No idea. What's he doing using my native slang? He must be banging an English bird. No, I doubt that. No, what is mugging me off? I don't want to learn your language, JD. It's crass and it's choppy and it's honestly ugly. I refuse to learn whatever language you speak over there in Britain.
include jokes that like only
some Muhammad language. Is it Pakistani? Tell me right now. Is it some sort of Muslim language? Because it cannot. It's not American.
adults will understand, you know?
That's
like
for
this
sure.
I have over 30 accessories, and I deserve more respect.
Ah, that's better.
Hey, no one takes my wife's mouth, except me.
one. Mr. Potato Head? More like Mr. Potato Getting Head. But those jokes aside, I feel like Disney movies are just good. Except for Cars 2, which was great. Disney knows how to tell a good...
Cars wasn't good. Cars wasn't a good movie. Cars was boring. And Owen Wilson was boring in it. He was the red car. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. And it's not like I don't like all Disney movies. I'm not like, oh, if it's a good movie, and I'll be like, okay, that was a watchable film. Cars is not a watchable film. I'm sorry. I know it's meant for like 3-year-olds and shit, but you can still carry a plot. You can still carry a plot line. You can make interesting characters. It doesn't have to be gratuitous sex scene after profane, monologue every time for me to remain interested. It just has to have somewhat decent writing. The Lion King is a good example of that. Although the Lion King was ripped off from a Shakespeare play called Hamlet, so that's probably why it carried more water than Cars did.
good story, and they really know how to tackle these emotional and complex issues and ideas. Even when there aren't any humans in the actual movie, their stories are always very human, and we can all relate to them, which is genius because it appeals to kids because it's silly, goofy, it's bright, it's nice to look at, but it also appeals to the adults who are the ones that are going to be spending the money on movie tickets.
Peter Pan was about a fear of aging. If you guys understand the deeper meanings of Peter Pan, Peter was he stayed a boy forever, right? And Captain Hook was the older version of Peter Pan trying to recapture his youth. That's why Captain Hook, arch nemesis, was a ticking crocodile. It was a clock, right? He was trying to escape time itself and regain his youth as Peter Pan. So that's what that story is about, if you didn't know.
And streaming service subscriptions and t-shirts and action figures and lightsabers and cruise ship vacations and theme park tickets and just fucking everything else that Disney sells. But when it comes to
Dick Rickham says pedophilic undertones in Peter Pan also. What? In a Disney movie? You gotta be kidding me. Of course, dude. It's a Disney movie. Have you ever seen the cover of A Little Mermaid with the penis on it? Have you ever seen those compilations of all of the sexual undertones? Like when Jasmine blows the dust in the wind and it spells out sex and stuff. Dude, that's not an accident. That is 100% on purpose. They have entire teams trying to sneak innuendos into those movies, and it's subliminal messaging, right? The CIA is deeply involved with Disney, and that's actually how Disney World was able to purchase the land that it is currently on. It was very undercover, and the CIA was involved in that. But they're still deeply involved. There's tunnels underneath Disney World that go for miles that are used for the characters. But not just the characters. It's also for smuggling kids in and out of the park. Mostly out of the park. Kids go missing from Disney World pretty regularly. So, and then they go in the tunnels, and then they get Epsteined away, right? It's just one of those things. It's a known secret, right? Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of hypnosis, MK Ultra stuff that goes into their movies, and there's a whole iceberg behind it.
Disney parks, I'm sure the parents are down to go.
Allegedly,
too, right? 'Cause
yes,
it's like,
of course.
Yeah, sure, my kids get to go play on the rides. I'd like to the movies as well, and also they have beer there, so I'll get a little buzz, and then maybe I'll get a little buzz. Like, could you imagine if any other weird like kids content channels on YouTube started a theme park? Fucking Johnny Land. Yeah, like anybody would ever go to a Spider-Man and Elsa theme park. Oh, like, people don't really have an issue with parents going to Disneyland with their kids, but when an adult who doesn't have kids goes to Disney like every week, they dress up for it, they have Disney memorabilia, and their whole life revolves around Disney, that's what people seem to have a problem with. And obviously, the main group
There's
of
a
people
reason for
who
that.
are Disney.
Because you're supposed to grow up and be in the real world. And Disney holds this fantasy, right? Like Main Street, Main Street USA in Disneyland. It is a fictionalization of a real time, of a real occurrence in the United States that is no longer around, right? But people still yearn for that Main Street feeling. Just the only place they can really get it is in Disneyland because everything is destroyed by Amazon and Google and stuff like that. So it's a last bastion of Americana. But it's fake. It's fake. And people don't really, at some level, understand that it's fake. They push that down. So they just want to make Disney their entire life, their entire persona, because that's the world they really want to live in, right? A fantasy. There's something deeply wrong with these people. And it could be sexual abuse as a child, or some sort of autism, or just a refusal to actually accept the harsh parts of reality, which I kind of understand because shit kind of sucks. But there is something wrong with them, right? And when society collapses, the first people to go, the very first people to go will be the park sloppers, will be the Disney adults. They will die almost instantly, like immediately, because they don't know how to take care of themselves in any real capacity. These people all have jobs at like large corporations, and they're usually pretty leftist too. Large corporations that kind of coddle them, just like Disney does. These people have to be coddled till they're dead. That's why they're not capable of having kids of their own, because they want to be the children in their story, right? They want to be the kid in the Disney story with the dead parents and stuff for some reason.
Adults are millennials. And you know what? Especially in like the last year or two, the hate towards millennials has been pretty gnarly. Deserved though. I'm a millennial. I'm not proud of it. I'm trying to quit. And it is extremely millennial or chuggy to be a Disney.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong about that. Being a millennial is, I mean, the millennials were set up with a shit hand. But also, I don't know, that we did our part. I'm not going to include myself in this because I feel like I did not play a part in like, you know, doing that. It sucks because it just sucks to be alive at this current point in history. Yes, it should be fun. It should be whimsical and amazing. And, you know, back in the 50s when they imagined the year 2025, you know, everyone had flying cars and there was beautiful cities and stuff like that. And people would live forever. And it was a utopia. And it would have been if people still, you know, the demographic hadn't shifted from 1950s. and a lot of other things. I'm not strictly blaming demographics, but let's be honest, they play a huge role. But yeah, now we have cities where most of the people are addicted to drugs of one sort or another. There's people lying in the street shooting up. Rent is like $3,000 or $4,000 a month, and no one can afford to live anywhere. There's no real aspect of progress. There's no progress, and that goes down to the individual too, right? At the individual level, people feel like their lives are not progressing. They feel like they're on a hamster wheel, just trying to make it by, and they are. And has huge effects on society. Hopefully there is some sort of, I don't want to say hopefully, but there is going to be some sort of war. And it is probably inescapable at this point, but it's going to be a good thing. Because afterwards there will probably be a golden age. I hope. That's how I get to be optimistic, right? Because I have to be. I have to be optimistic. I do have kids. So I need there to be some sort of future. A lot of people have this idea that we are just the band on the Titanic playing songs as society crumbles. And I can't play that song with you. It's a banger. Don't get me wrong. And I'm a killer violinist, but I'm not going to play that song with you. I'm going to start bailing.
Honestly, dude, the lengths these Disney adults go to show their love for Disney is honestly pretty impressive. For example, there's this thing called Disney bounding that we heard about in the definition, where people will take inspiration from a certain Disney character and incorporate that into their outfit that they wear to a Disney park. So say you want to dress up like Goofy. You know, maybe you throw on an orange shirt and a yellow cardigan and a green hat, and there you go, dude. You look goofy as hell in like a nice way. They have to do like subtle costumes because obviously...
What character wears a black shirt? Bluto? Can I wear a black shirt and rock it? No, probably not.
See, if you pull up to a Disney park in like a full Sully fursuit, some little kid's gonna be like, "Oh."
Arden Shara says everything is a cycle. We are just on the downswing currently, but I think we're at the tail end of the downswing. We've been on a downswing for about 20 years now, so I kind of think that we are at the end of that downswing. I don't think it's going to last 100 years or something like that, because that would just be terrible. Terrible. But even if it did, it's not like humanity wouldn't be able to make it through. I think we are at the tail end of that downswing, and I think things are going to start getting better in the next 5 or 10 years. And it's going to be a rough 5 or 10 years, don't get me wrong, right? I mean, 2025 just started. And look at all the goofy bullshit that's already happened. John McAfee apparently is alive. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Okay, why not? Why not?
You work here because you're dressed up like Sully. Can I get a photo?
And maybe say,
"No, fuck off, kid. I don't want to take a photo."
And that kid cries, and then the parents complain to Disney. So it's a whole thing. No furries at Disney, I guess.
Can I go to Disney dressed in blackface, or would they get angry about that? Would they get angry? Can I wear... I know you can't wear offensive shirts. I know you can't have, like, overly graphic tattoos, right? If you, like, have, like, swastika tattoos, or like, you know, a chick with big tits and it's visible, they'll be like, you need to cover that or you need to get out, because they're trying to maintain a atmosphere. But what's it matter when there's barely any kids there anyway? Now it's just adults getting drunk off of $25 drinks, right? And eating way too many calories. So what's it matter? Who cares? Make Disneyland into like Westworld. Honestly, if they made Disneyland into Westworld, I would go a lot more.
Yes. And dude, I get why people poke fun at this stuff. I understand. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've never, thought this was a silly thing to do. But honestly, man, looking at it now, whatever floats your boat or whatever touches your butt. Like when I see photos and videos of Disney adults like at Disney, I don't think I've ever achieved that level of happiness, right? What's that like? What is that like? They're way happier than I was.
Okay, Critical Thought chimes in, says, okay, yes, I have a theory about Disney adults. Okay, you have to have money to go to Disney, especially like regularly. So they had well-off but often emotionally neglectful parents. They go to Disney to relieve their nostalgic moments when they feel like their parents love them. Okay, well, yeah, okay, that's a fair assessment. But I don't think that's completely the case, because I know, I mean, it might be. You think all these people had parents with money? I don't think so. They wouldn't be so ugly. I know that's a lot to say, but they're so ugly. Right? They're so ugly. Oftentimes they're so fat and they're ugly and they're just weak. I don't think it's necessarily that their parents had money, although that would be a factor, possibly. I think it's just these people are deeply programmed, partially because of neglectful parents, right? They got sat in front of Disney movies their entire childhood. And so, maybe to have that connection with their childhood, they go to Disney. But that doesn't matter. When you're an adult, you have to be an adult and do adult things and have your own kids and stuff and try to propagate society into the future. Unfortunately, these people are stuck emotionally and oftentimes physiologically too. There's no way some of these male Disney adults completed puberty. There's just no way. There's no muscle mass on them. They have very high-pitched voices. They don't act like men. They don't seem like men. I mean, men don't go to Disney. Men don't want to go to Disney. Right? Am I way off base here by saying that a man shouldn't want to go to Disneyland, especially if he doesn't have kids? When I go to Disneyland with my kids, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a long day for me. I'm going to have to carry my kids a lot of it, and then I'm going to have to spend a shitload of money, and I'm going to be doing a lot of walking while everybody else is not going to be doing as much walking. But it's for my family, and so I'm here. A normal man would not do that. A normal man's not going to go to Disney and be like, "Oh my God, look, it's Star Wars something," and then geek out on that shit. That's lame, dude. That's lame. Even when Star Wars was good, which was before episode 4 or 5, or before episode 1, 2, and 3, right? Back in the day, Star Wars was good. The original 4, 5, and 6 movies, they were good, right? They were respectable movies, and I watched them a lot. When the first 3 came out in the early 2000s, the aughts, they sucked. They sucked, dude. Those were not good movies. And I'm sorry, and the entire franchise just died after that, right? And it became lame, and it became like powerful woke Mary Sue's, and like there was all of a sudden a lot of black Jedis. I had no idea there were so many black Jedis. And then it's just like, okay, you're trying to shove a message into every movie IP you have, and I'm just, no thanks, man. I'm jaded enough. You've already stomped all over my childhood enough. I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm just not going to be a part of this. And so I don't go to Disney. I don't go to Disney. I mean, I do, but not for me. Not for me. If I got time and money laying around like that, I'm not going to go to Disneyland. Right? I'm going to stay home. I'm going to stay home. And then not go to Disneyland specifically. Not that I hate Disney. Well, I kind of hate Disney, but not like I hate them like that, right? It's just like, I got better shit going on. And they should have better shit going on, right? They shouldn't like, oh, I'm going to Disney next month. Oh, yay. Yay. Oh my God. All my Funko Pops. Look at that. Oh, yay. Yay. Nah, man. Nah, that's not cool. That's lame. That's lame as shit. You should be on the front lines of a battlefield. That's where you're going to go. If I had my way, those park sloppers, every single one of them, they would be on the front lines of the battlefield in some brutal trench warfare. Gruesome, in fact. And yeah, I would send them to their deaths one by one, right? I'd be like, oh, who's your favorite Star Wars character? Oh, Boba Fett? Well, you get to die. You get to go to the front of the line, right? Act like you're a bounty hunter, and you have to go get a bounty, and it's over that hill. Go, right? And then he just gets cut down. And I'll be like, oh, watch out for the blasters.
It will ever be. And it's not hurting anybody.
Because I feel like I would be talking to a retard, like a retarded person. If your entire identity, or at least a large portion of your identity, is cartoons, you're retarded. You are a retarded person, right? You got a bunch of cartoon tattoos of like animes or Disney or some bullshit like that. You're retarded. And I'm going to talk to you like you're retarded because you act like a child. You act like an adult child, right? And so I'm going to be like, you going to get a cinnamon roll if you go and die for blah, blah, blah. No, dude, we don't need people like that. Is that their fault? Is it their fault, or is it just tons of Reddit? Is it tons of like media manipulation that has changed these people into some sort of infantilized mode of adulthood? I don't know. Who's at fault for anything these days, though? Who gives a shit?
Or is it? There is a bunch of criticisms towards Disney adults, so I figured we'd go over the main like 3 that I think people have against them and see if they're warranted. Number 1, devoting your life to a corporation. There are people out there who think it's a little odd to devote so much of your life and identity to one of the biggest corporations in the world. And some could go,
Critical Thought says this is exacerbated by them not having their own kids and dragging out their own juvenile status. That's 100% correct. You are absolutely correct there, Thought. They don't want to grow up in a very literal sense. Although these people do have jobs, usually corporate jobs. They're not usually business owners. They're usually work at large corporations that, have soulless hierarchies and stuff like that. And they want that bit of escapism. But to think you're like a kid and act like a kid, dude, I know chicks that are well into their 30s with kids who like make their whole shit. Like this one made her entire wedding Disney themed, and the dance song was Beauty and the Beast, and the cake was a castle. And yeah, I'm not fucking kidding you. And it was cringy. The whole thing was cringy. And it was cringy. I'm like, you're an adult. You're an adult. You're an adult. You can't even like foster your own personality. You have to pick and choose from different movies you've seen generated by one company. So is there a soul behind those eyes? Is there anything original or about you? Is there anything that you've come up with that you didn't just take from a Disney movie and be like, oh, that's so me. That's so me. I'm such a Tinkerbell, right? Is that what you did? Because you didn't want to foster your own personality? You know what it's like? It's like those girls that say like they're bisexual in middle school because they're boring as shit, right? They're boring as shit. And the only way that anybody could possibly find them interesting is their sexual preferences. Boo. Boo. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? I don't have a personality of my own. I don't want to create a personality of my own because that would take effort and courage and stuff. So I'm just going to adopt a pre-approved personality from this collection of Disney movies that I have on VHS that are in mint condition. And if you touch them, I will cry. I will cry. Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. And it pisses me off. Can I not do one show without getting just mad? Is that me? Am I just hot-blooded?
As far as, saying the very concept of Disney adults could be pulled like right out of a dystopian like sci-fi novel. And honestly, I can see where they're coming from a little bit. There's something almost Orwellian about a group of people buying everything related to a corporation, dressing like the characters, getting engaged at the company's theme.
People getting engaged in front of that castle, right? There's like a specific spot where you do it, right? And if you just wait there, if you go to Disney and wait at that spot for somebody to propose, you can make a very nice living off of stealing engagement rings, right? Just yoink, run past, right? What are they going to do? Run after you? No, they're huge, right? They're huge. And whatever, just dress up like a character. They're never going to find you. Oh, it's tacky. It's just so tacky. It's just so tacky. Ardenshire says one defining subset of millennials are those that have their entire lives infantilized. Infanticide is something different. Yeah, but yeah, I have no argument for that. That's true. But I mean, it should be true for any generation, right? There's always a subset of some people, usually very wealthy, that are infantilized to some degree. But the millennials have definitely, taken it. Well, can you blame them, though? Can you blame them? Because it's not like there's any reason not to. What are we going to carry society forward and just pay all the debts off of the boomers? No, that's impossible. That's not possible, right? So if you're facing such a dire situation where you're looking down the barrel of a gun, you are looking down the barrel of a gun with debt and debt that's not even accrued by you, but that was accrued by your parents and stuff. And you lack of opportunity and lack of the American dream in general. You're staring down the barrel of this gun. You have no options. You're not getting laid because most of them aren't getting laid. What do? You revert, man. You just revert into some sort of childlike stage. There's something called the immortal jellyfish. It's a jellyfish that swims around in the South Pacific Ocean. And it has an ability that when it is under attack or under some sort of extreme stress, that it will polyp and return to its juvenile state. And it can do this over and over again. That's why it's called an immortal jellyfish, because it's not a different jellyfish. It is the same jellyfish, the same genetically identical jellyfish that goes from being old to being young to being old again. So this is the human equivalent of that. Although we can't become young again, we can psychologically revert and become young again. Is that a positive step? No, it is not a positive step in any way. In any way. Jellyfish can do it because they don't have a brain. They have no brain. Adults can't do that and expect to have the fulfillment that a human adult should acquire during their lifetime. No, they end up like these two, marrying some fatso. Look how fat she is. Look how fucking fat she is. Despicable. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not sorry. Stop going to Disneyland and eating all that goddamn sugar, right? Don't be so fucking fat. You barely see the castle in the background.
Park and sort of forming a symbiotic relationship with a business. Orwellian is a word. I had to Google to make sure. But again, I'm trying to be as open-minded as I can. This isn't my cup of tea, but if it makes someone happy, who am I to say it's bad, right? If there was a Legend of Zelda theme park by my house, I'd go every single day.
Okay, I do like Legend of Zelda. But that's because it's very nostalgic for me and there's good writing. But that's besides the point. Critical Thought says in most countries, 16-year-olds have are already household earners and can navigate life rather independently if necessary. In the USA, it's totally socially acceptable to live with your parents well into adulthood as a dependent. So the USA is a big country, and there's lots of cultures in the USA. So speaking in broad generalities like that is a little bit unfair, because in Italy, in Greece, in Spain, it's very common that multiple generations will share a single house, and then no one moves out. And, they don't make tons of money, but it's just how it is. But being part of American society, we do have this consumerism kind of ideal, especially from the boomers, it was so easy for them to buy and sell and accrue large amounts of money because it was falling out of the sky. So there's an expectation of Americans to go out and get a job and start a family and stuff like that, because that's what our parents did, the boomers did. But the boomers don't realize that it's much more difficult these days because all the houses are bought up, right? And, your boomer parents will have like a 16-room mansion or whatever, and they'll expect you to go move out into some shit apartment that you can barely afford rent and stuff. And they'll be like, well, we made it. Why can't you? Well, a lot of reasons. And I feel like you're being intentionally naive to that, or not naive, but just ignoring it. It's different. We're probably going to head back to a system where you're going to have a family house, and then multiple generations will stay in that house. Is that a bad thing? No, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think everyone having their own house is costly, but it's also kind of inefficient. People deserve to have their own house and stuff like that, but not all countries are, you turn 18 and then you get a well-paying job and then you can immediately buy a house. Most countries aren't like that. Most of society over the generations have not been like that. You get handed down a house, right? And then that's just it. And then several generations will live in the same house.
Okay, so I get it. Criticism number 2, Disney's problematic past and present, and future, probably. So when you're a corporation as big as Disney, you're going to get caught up in a few scandals. I think it's inevitable. You don't become one of the biggest companies in the world without a complete lack of business ethics. Let's go over just a few controversies that Disney has had. They've used countless offensive stereotypes and imagery in their movies over the years. A total of 29 animals died either on the way to Disney's Animal Kingdom or while they were there. Pixar's John Lasseter was accused several times of sexual harassment over the course of more than a decade. A 4-year-old who died of leukemia was a huge Spider-Man fan, and his father wanted to put Spider-Man on his dead son's headstone, but Disney refused, stating that its denial would help preserve the innocence and magic of its characters.
Yeah, fuck Disney. Fuck Disney. David says, maybe we can try a show about guns. They rarely piss me off. Yeah, but I mean, like, what am I going to do? Be like, oh, that would be fun. That's a cool gun. Oh, look at that gun. See, there's nothing for me to talk about. And I feel like this show is about me talking. Right? Because I don't want to just show you guys other people's shows. I want to give my 2 cents on them. And maybe I'm just angry. Maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm hurt deep down and I'm trying to vent, right? So I can't vent about guns. Guns haven't done anything to me, right? Guns are fun and they go boom and stuff and they destroy things, which is like great. And, I don't have anything to be like, oh, those damn guns, because I'm not a liberal, I'm not one of those people. I like guns. So I'm probably not going to do a show on them because I don't have much to say besides, oh, I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. That's I need something that'll piss me off. Is this show good for me? Is doing this show good for me? I don't think that matters. I don't think I have a good time. So that's what matters.
And oh yeah, Disney tried to trademark the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, the holiday. They tried trademarking that because Pixar.
David Thoreau says Jefferson ran Monticello when he was 11. See, Jefferson's parents had the decency to die. You know, everyone's parents had the decency to die. I don't think the boomers are going to die. Now that they took the shot, I think they're going to die. But like, you know, the boomers would stay at work forever. This is why a lot of the millennials can't find jobs good enough to buy their own houses, because the boomers, they can't let go, right? They can't quit the good times. They had such a good life on the backs of the future generations that they just cannot let it go, right? They don't want to fade into that good night. So they're going to stay at work and pretend like everything's normal until they drop dead. And then they're probably going to drop dead en masse too, like all at once, or in like a very short time period. There's going to be a lot that are dropping dead all at once. I would invest in like mortuary homes where they like make cadavers into box stuffing. What am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say, right? Where they put them in formaldehyde and stuff and put them in the box and then bury them. Because they're going to be making a lot of money. That's all I'm saying.
Pixar was working on a movie that featured the holiday, and they wanted to sell Day of the Dead themed merchandise. Disney tried to trademark a fucking holiday.
Critical Thought says my kid knows the locks change on his 18th birthday. Yeah, good luck with that.
Hey, I know you've been celebrating
Good luck
Day of
with
the
that.
Dead for like thousands of years, and it's really important, like personally and culturally, but how much? Can I have it? I want to make a t-shirt. And of course, there's that whole thing about Walt Disney being anti-Semitic and how he froze himself, and then Disney made the movie Frozen, so when people search Walt Disney Frozen, the movie pops up instead of articles about Walt Disney being frozen. In The Lion King, there's the sex.
Did they do that on purpose? Oh, here's the Lion King that I was talking about. I thought it was Aladdin, but here you go, the Lion King. Yeah, there's a lot of subliminal messaging in those movies, and it's not on accident. It's just not on accident. I mean, come on. Every single movie? No.
Written in the stars. And there's also this weird clip from Aladdin.
Good, can you just take off?
There's the topless woman in the background of that one scene in The Rescuers. The penis on the Little Mermaid cover.
I mean, it is there. You go look, it's right there. And maybe it was a mistake, but like, doesn't seem like a mistake. Art and Cherry says mortuary homes or whatever that tech was that the Nazis used to cremate so quickly. LOL. We lost that technology.
Cover and the hard
We don't
penis
have
in
that
the
anymore.
Little Mermaid marriage scene. There's a lot. And all of this is terrible, I know, but the worst thing Disney has ever done is this.
Oh, hey, Dixie. And
Critical Thought says, your good luck with that statement rests my case. It is a parent's responsibility to prepare their children to be adults. It's not up to the child. Why would I need luck? Okay. I'm just saying, you know, lock your doors and stuff and kick your kid out on the street. You're assuming he's going to be okay. Why? Why do you assume that? Because you did
such a good job parenting? I'm not knocking your parenting style, and I would never do that to anybody. The kids are yours to raise, right? And you can choose to do with your kid what you want. I'm not going to kick my kids out at 18. I'm just not going to do that. It seems cruel. It seems unfair. It's not something I would do. But if that's what you think is a good idea, then by all means you should. I don't think I could do it. That's what I mean by good luck with that. I mean, I don't think I would be able to do it. You know, is that going to hinder them? I personally don't think so, but maybe. But you know, it's just not something I would do. I remember being 18. I remember it being completely unlikely for me to be able to afford anything.
I wouldn't. I just couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. But you do you, Thought. You do you.
Noah? Hey, Disney Parks TikTok. While we have you here, we just have to know, what is your favorite Disney Park snack?
Mine's probably the spicy pickle.
Mine's gotta be the Frosty Parfait.
No cap. See you real soon.
Critical Thought says he won't be out on the street. I know he'll be okay because I'll have helped him prepare for that. So, yeah, that's what you think. That's what you think. But, like, a lot of people who kick their kids out on the street also think that. And their kid ends up, I don't know, turning to prostitution or becoming a drug addict or just dying. Or just disappearing, straight up disappearing. So, you think, but I honestly hope the best for you and your child, Thought. I really do. I'm not going to do that. If my kid wants to live with me for the rest of his life, then that is fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'll be fine with that. If he wants to get married and move a wife in here, that's cool too. It's not very big, but I'll figure something out. We'll build more house. I'm just not going to do that, you know? But I'm not knocking your decision as a parent in the least bit. You have your own specific set of circumstances that I am not aware of. So if you're taking this as some sort of slight at your decisions as a parent, please do not, because it's individual. It is completely individual. And I don't think people should judge other people on their parenting decisions. I don't think they should do that, but I have to admit that I have judged other people on their parenting decisions. But that's me. You know, that's me. And
No cap.
Obviously, like, the racism and stuff is worse than that video, but I had to see it, so now you had to see it. And the other main critique is sort of the environmental impact of the Walt Disney Company. When it comes to the parks, Disney is actively, like, trying to lower the impact and energy consumption of their parks, which is good. You know, they got a whole page about it on their website, but they do produce a lot of plastic and textile waste to make toys and merchandise.
Thought says, well, I'll catch up with you in 6 years and let you know how it goes. I already know how it'll go. He's going to kick ass and take names. Fantastic. I wish the best for him. And I love your confidence.
They don't have anything about that on the website. I feel like that's what people are upset about. Like, Disney adult critics don't understand how someone can support a big corporation like that just to have a fun day at a theme park, you know? But really, man, you could say that about anything. Drinking coffee is fucking terrible for the environment. Am I gonna stop? Absolutely not. No fucking chance, man. I like the way it makes me feel. Am I a shitty person for that? I honestly don't think so. Also, Disney owns fucking everything, so it's inevitable, okay? You're gonna be supporting them some way. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism, so you might as well just let people...
Ardenshire says, Thought, when your kid turns 18, you have to legally give them 30 days notice. That's the thing. Yeah, I'm sure Thought's kid's gonna know, though. I'm sure he knows now.
Enjoy the things that they like, right? Unless it's like clubbing seals. You know what I mean? Clubbing with seal. That'd be pretty fun. Okay, so now we have like the surface level definition of Disney adults and the main criticisms, but I think it's time we go a little deeper. Okay, so I needed a way to structure all the things that I wanted to talk about in this video. So I made this Disney adult iceberg. If you aren't familiar with the iceberg format, it's like basic level stuff, like surface level stuff at the top, right? The further you go down, the more extreme it gets. Fucking everybody's doing kickflips at the bottom. It's fucking extreme. So we'll start at the top, you know, very basic Disney adult stuff. And then we'll go all the way to the bottom, and we'll see how much we can take. So the first one I put, watched Disney movies growing up and watches the occasional Pixar film. I feel like this is like very like base level of being an adult who enjoys Disney. I think I would put myself in this category because I like the Disney.
Thought, I think the problem here is that you're operating under a cultural idea that the boomers had, that you left the house when you were 18 and you were able to make it, and now this is where you are. But most of history was where kids would stay home, and that's how you would build generational wealth. See, if everyone has to start off at a blank slate at 18 with no money and no real way of making money, then it just kind of perpetuates poverty in that family line. If he stays in the house and then gains enough, because remember, he has to pay rent if he goes out, he has to become part of the system. It's more profitable as a family unit as a whole for them to stay home and then accrue as much wealth as possible before they go out and purchase their first house, which will not be at 18. It's not going to be at 18, right? So if you kick them out at 18, they're going to have to go pay rent, which is going to make it that much harder to actually eventually purchase their own house. It's going to make it that much harder to eventually start their own family, buy their own car, maybe even start their own business. It just makes the stuff that much harder. And the boomers they thrived because of the post-war economy, and America was the only country left with actually functioning factories. And so money was falling out of the sky. Houses were dirt cheap because of the GI Bill that FDR made for returning soldiers. So houses were dirt cheap. So their experience doesn't translate properly to the modern experience. I think kicking them out too early is kind of dooming them to poverty. But that's just what I think, you know. I think it's a little optimistic for them, but you know, it really depends. It depends.
Movies, and I watch the occasional new Pixar film. I've also seen every single MCU movie, and Marvel's owned by Disney, so I guess I'm a fucking Disney adult in that sense. Dang.
Thought says yes, which means he has to learn how to work hard earlier in life. I was employed at 15 and had 2 years of college done before 18 without a car. Okay. What makes you think hard work is going to make somebody successful? Because you were told that by boomers? And maybe it was true, but I don't think it was true for them. Hard work only makes you work hard. It makes you tired. It drains your energy. Hard work is not going to get you anywhere in this economy or any real future economy. The boomers were able to do it because, well, they borrowed heavily against the future. And I don't even think they worked as hard as they think they did. Hard work is only going to keep you a slave. Slaves work hard. They work themselves to death. They don't become rich. They don't even know. They're just slaves. So, I mean, if you want to teach them to work hard, that's fine. I don't think that's really going to benefit them.
Comic book nerds.
You know.
Sorry. You're Disney adults.
It's not about hard work. I mean, you do need to honestly work hard, right? You should be ambitious in your chosen field and work hard. But it's not just about working hard for working hard's sake, you know? If you work hard just to say you work hard, then you're going to work hard, but you're not going to make any progress in your life. You're just going to work hard. You don't think people work their asses off every single day and come home to nothing? That's a lot of people do that. Tons of people do that throughout history. Billions of people have done that. It's not just about hard work. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't instill a good work ethic in your son, although I think that's largely genetic anyway. But just be, throwing him to the wolves so he can work hard for working hard's sake because you think it's going to benefit him in some ways. Retro? It's past due. It's a thing of the past. Yeah, he's going to work hard regardless. He has to. He literally has to work hard regardless. But saddling him with a bunch of bills too early in his life is going to destabilize him so much that he won't be able to actually build wealth when he needs to. Or at least that's my theory. This is the first time I'm parenting too, so I'm just trying to take a guess.
Unless you like DC. Maybe that stands for Disney Comics. Who knows? Okay, so next level deeper. We got sees every single Disney movie, goes to the park every few years, has a pair of Mickey Mouse ears but doesn't wear them. I think this is like the natural progression. You know, this person is on like the outskirts of becoming a Disney adult but never like actually made the commitment. I just picture them like behind a chain link fence being like, that should be me. And one level deeper, now we're starting to get into like muddy waters, I guess you could say. For this next level, I put goes to the park as much as possible, has at least one Disney-themed tattoo, might even have a Disney Instagram account. And I'd say this is the
Disney
cutoff
Instagram
of like casual
account?
Disney fan and like full-on Disney adult. And we're only at the halfway point, so that's I should fucking tell you something right there. And I feel like this level of the iceberg makes up the majority. They either have the fucking Disney.
Despite what you've heard, says my bad, not feeling well tonight. Curtis is a fact. Yeah, I mean he is. Yeah, I'm not arguing that. What was I arguing? Oh. Yeah, I was arguing with Thought about parenting. But do not take my advice as I mean, I don't give parenting advice because I don't know people's kids. I'm just trying to think out loud about my own theories about what would be best for my children. And it could vary greatly from person to person, right? And yeah, hard work. The Thought says, agree to disagree. The people I admire worked hard for their success. Yes. Jeff Bezos worked hard for his success. Taylor Swift worked hard for their success. However, their parents gave them like hundreds of thousands of dollars to start that, you know? So I'm not saying there's not cases of people that work themselves up from nothing. Because of course there is. I think there were in the boomer times, but I'm sure there is today. I can't name any of them, but yeah, success is not. It's not about hard work. It's just not. It's just so many people work hard their entire lives. It's just not about hard work. And if you focus strictly on hard work, you will just do nothing but work hard, right? It's more than that. It's nepotism. It's somewhat intelligence. I mean, but you don't have to be a genius to become a millionaire. You don't. You do not. You have to get lucky in a lot of senses, but most of all, you have to have a strong support system, right? And throwing a kid out at 18 years old, I think is removing a lot of that support. That's what I think.
Castle outline, Tinkerbell, or the Mickey Mouse logo tattooed. For sure, one of those. I mean, if you got these tattoos, no shade or anything. Well, actually, no, there might be shading on the tattoo, but no tea. How about that? Well, unless you got the teapot tattoo from Beauty and the Beast. No offense. I'm in.
Despite what you've heard, says technically Royce and Marie are Disney adults. Yeah, they do spend a lot of time at Disney. Yeah, they do. They're not like the park slopper kind, but they do.
Absolutely zero position to be judging anybody's tattoos. But yeah, maybe this person also has a Disney-themed Instagram account, like a side one maybe, or maybe just post Disney-themed stuff on their main
Disney
Instagram
kid.
account. Photos in front of the castle, all that shit. All right, now we're in the bottom half. This is where it starts to get a little spicy, and I'll be spending more time on these levels going forward because there's just more I have to cover within them. So this next level, I labeled it Die Hard Disney Fan. Cosplays in their spare time and Disney bounds at the parks. Has a cat named Simba for sure. So I think this level is like.
Critical Thought says all you need is is an internal locus of control. People who say they can't. Nope. Nope. I disagree. I 100% disagree because I know a lot of people. I've known a lot of people who honestly firmly believed that they could do it and then did nothing. And it's just, yeah, just did nothing. And it's, belief is one thing, and solid belief is good to have. But people who believe in themselves because they know they have a certain skill or talent that is valuable to the world, right? A lot of people believe in themselves, but do not have that skill or talent, right? So you can believe in yourself, but then not be able to do shit because you overestimated your abilities. You overestimated your opportunities. You overestimated the challenges that were before you. It's not simply belief. If it was simply belief, then The Secret, The Secret, like the book that's about like manifestation and stuff like that, everyone would be able to just manifest their own success if they just believed in it hard enough, right? I feel like retarded people would be like astronauts a lot more often because they just believe in themselves so much, right? It's not the case just to believe, It takes more than that. It takes actual practical skill, practical ability, a lot of luck. But before all that, and most definitely would be a strong support system. That's what I'm saying.
The exaggerated, like stereotypical person that you would picture in your head when someone says Disney adult, like dudes in this.
Despite what you've heard, says I haven't been to Disney Park since New Year's 2001. Tickets were $60. And then Thought says, how much do they cost now? I think they're like $300 now, like $350 or something for a day pass. I think. I haven't been in a while. Maybe it's like only $150 for a day pass. Maybe the $300 is for like a weekend. It's expensive though. It's like real expensive.
Category totally takes selfies like this. I also imagine people in this level also want to be cast members at Disney. And how the fuck have we not talked about this yet? Let's talk about this yet. Employees at Disney parks are called cast members. Ooh.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. Bro, I fucking hate when companies do shit like that. They give you this special title to make you seem like you're super important, but they literally do not give a fuck about you at all. Yeah, maybe I am projecting because I used to work at Starbucks and they called us partners, which is just so goddamn disrespectful. Am I fighting crime at work? No. I'm getting bullied by a tween. I'm an employee. Literally, you're just a number to them. Dude, I literally had a partner number when I worked at Starbucks. It was like 171219,
like a prisoner,
because I was like the 170,000th person that got a job there. But yeah, for sure, Starbucks, I'm special. Sorry, back to the iceberg. That was my impression of the Titanic. Let's get back to the thing. Okay. So
Despite says that was the Florida resident price. Yeah, you get you get cheaper tickets if you live in Florida, which is cool, which is like respectable. David says that nose ring looks like a target, and I said the exact same thing, didn't I? That nose ring needs to come out. And if I have to fight you for that thing to come out, if my kid comes out with a nose ring, I'm ripping that shit out of his face. I'm just going to do it, man. And if it leaves a scar, it leaves a scar. But that's coming out. That is coming out, dude. That looks ridiculous, dude. Gay. That looks gay.
I start to feel a little odd about Disney adults. All the other stuff, it's fine, whatever. But these next two levels are just very weird. To me, Disney wedding and honeymoon spends every anniversary at the park but doesn't have any kids. I'm sorry, dude. I know everyone has their taste, but I just think spending $25,000 to get married in front of the Tower of Terror,
hey,
it's a little weird. And that's just the venue rental fee, by the way. It's gonna be way more. I just think if you have that kind of money to do a huge wedding at Disney, simply don't do a huge wedding.
Dude, weddings at Disney are expensive. Like, I don't know how much. I think it's like $60,000 or something like that just to rent out the room. It's insane. Disney weddings. I don't know why you would want to have a wedding at Disney. That seems stupid. So like all your guests have to come and pay for Disney tickets too. So like your guests end up having to pay thousands of dollars to attend your wedding. No, that's stupid. The whole wedding industry is stupid because everything gets charged triple when they hear you're having a wedding. It was when me and Jess were trying to find venues for our wedding. We rented an Airbnb and like they gave us one number and then we were saying we were going to have a wedding there. And then they called us back saying they were like tripling the number. And we were like, go fuck yourselves. No. But that's the entire industry. That's just the entire industry. It's when they hear wedding or funeral, you're going to get upcharged because I don't know, people suck.
At Disney, right? Go somewhere beautiful. Don't go to Orlando. What the fuck are you doing? Again, people can do whatever they want with their money and they can do whatever the hell they want on their wedding day. Personally, I wouldn't want to get married in the same place some little brat pissed his fucking sweatpants and puked up a bunch of cotton candy only hours earlier. Don't get married at a place where cargo shorts are the main garment of choice. How about that? Dude, it would also suck way more.
Despite what you've heard, says we did it in a county park and they were so psyched we did it there, they didn't charge us. Oh, that's really nice. They didn't charge you that's really nice. That's lucky.
More if you got divorced.
Because they will charge the shit out of you, man. They will charge the shit out of you. Like, ridiculous.
For a Disney wedding, bro, you wouldn't even be able to watch a Star Wars movie without being reminded of your ex-wife.
Anakin, may the force be with you.
Divorce? And also, dude, a Disney honeymoon seems like a nightmare to me. Honeymoon's supposed to be like nice and relaxing and straight up, it's just a sex holiday, right? That's what honeymoons are. A place you go and you bone, right? But I don't think there's anything that makes you want to have sex less than being surrounded by a bunch of screaming, crying children all day. Oh, so that's what'll happen if we... Okay, yeah, let's get separate rooms. But folks, that's not even the worst of it. There is one final level to this Disney adult iceberg. This is the deepest it goes, to my knowledge, and to me, this is the weirdest thing a Disney adult can do. Completely consumed by Disney. They live on Disney property, they go to the park every single day, they live to serve their merciless god, Mickey Mouse. So this is actually what made me want to talk.
Those people are rich. Those people are rich. If they live on Disney property, like I mentioned Celebration Village, they have money, right? They go to, to get an annual pass at Disney is I think it's like $3,000 or something like that for an annual pass per person. So don't quote me on that. I might be a little overshooting it, but it's expensive. And you can't work at Disney and make that kind of money. So, and if you're living in Celebration Village, there's like, you have to basically be retired and be super rich. So that's your life then. That's your life, going to Disney and being part of the Disney gang and seeing the same people over and over. And they're like, oh, dude, it's this guy. And he's got the Mickey Mouse ears that are all tattered and shit. Yeah, that person is broken. That's a broken person. And probably thoughts right about their parents not loving them enough because, and they just have tons of money in place of parental love, which is, not unheard of.
Talk about Disney adults in a video because I found something on YouTube that was just so fucking crazy to me that I had to share it with people if you didn't know about it. There is a neighborhood called Golden Oak that is described as an upscale residential community within the Walt Disney World Resort in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. So yeah, if you love Disney, what's better than living right beside the park? Living inside the park.
This is Golden Oak, an Imagineer-designed community of homes built by Disney within the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida.
Is that not fucking crazy to you? Why would you do that? It's just like the point I made when I was talking about the wedding. These homes are like in the...
Despite what we've heard, says it's not worth the hour drive to get there. Yeah, I never go. I never go. It's not... I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm not... It is only an hour for me. And we just never want to make it there. It just sucks. Thought says, my two favorite theme parks are Cedar Point and Knott's Berry Farm. Cheap, good rides, underrated. I haven't heard of Cedar Point, but Knott's Berry Farm, they've got some good roller coasters. Yeah, there's good theme parks in Orlando. It's not just Disneyland, right? Disneyland is probably one of the more boring theme parks. There's good theme parks. There's Busch Gardens. There's SeaWorld. There's I think there's Legoland somewhere around. There's a lot of good places, but Disney does not have the best rides. They have okay rides, but the rides are, and everything's overpriced, and I feel like it's much more of just like a thematic experience. It's about the genre, the vibe of Disney, and not so much the actual having a good time. I think Disney is kind of an elitist place, because if you're in a family that goes to Disney often, you're in a good family. You're in a well-off family. If your family goes to Disney a couple of times a year, your family makes good money. If you go once a year, you're middle class, right? If you go to Disney, if you have been to Disney once, then you have been to Disney. And then there's that whole rung of society that has never set foot on Disney property and probably never will. And those are the untouchables. So Disney is a class separator, especially these days. Now that it costs so much just to set foot inside the park. That's before all the food and maybe you want to buy merch or something like that. It's just insane. The hotel that you're going to need to stay there, it gets crazy. So yeah, it's elitist. It's set up on class, and they're trying to make it to where only the upper echelons of society can be in Disneyland. And they're doing a pretty good job of that.
The millions. They're from like 2 million to like 10 million. And if you have that sort of money to buy a house, why the fuck would you get one inside of an amusement park? You goofball. The worst thing about it, dude, the houses aren't even that nice. Because you know why? They're all fucking Disney themed. Of course. I found one YouTube
Disney
channel.
themed?
They're like moving into this neighborhood and they're kind of like
I gotta
vlogging
see
the
this.
whole process. And they made a video about when they were like touring different houses. So let's take a look at some clips from that video.
So we were able to film the outside, and every single house has these.
God, that's exactly the type of Disney chick. She got like the blonde and the loose curls and stuff like that. A lot of purple eyeshadow, very heavy purple eyeshadow. She drinks lattes, like she's got the Stanley Cup and everything like that. I know exactly what kind of bitch is it. She drives a white Lexus, right? A white Lexus SUV. And, her kids are not happy. They look happy. And then there's pictures on the wall and everything is white. Everything is white in our house. Everything is white. The couch is white, right? Even though she's got kids, the couch is white, right? And if the kids get on that couch, she's going to be pissed. There's way too many pillows on the couch. This is the exact type of person that would live in Disney. The exact type of person in my head that would live in Disney. Shallow and vapid. Only concerned about what other people think of her. That kind of person. No real core personality, but gets her sense of value through largely Instagram and Facebook, and how other people see her situation. That's where she gets her sense of value. That's how she thrives, right? That's how she doesn't have any sort of internal spirituality or like, a deeper connection with life. No, everything is very surface level, very materialistic. Oh, I live in Disney. I have this nice car. I have this nice house. Look at me and seethe with jealousy. But inside of that house, it is cold and barren, and it's not a home. It's just not a home. It has a job to do, and that's to make other moms specifically hate her even more. It's a sad, sad life.
Gold plaques that say like the family's name on them, and they're all custom made when the family moves in. And I feel like all of the details like that are.
I gotta go to this Cedar Point place. Is it like Do they have like really good roller coasters and shit? I'll have to go. I can't wait till my boys get older, so where they can like do like fun rides and stuff. They're just like babies now, but when they get older, we're gonna be hitting roller coasters.
What make that neighborhood?
Seems like a cult. Okay.
In the house, though, there was all these touches from, you know, the Mickey.
The Mickey fountain? Oh my God. That is ugly as shit. That is ugly. I would have that thing ripped out. But maybe you can't. Can you imagine the HOA in this neighborhood? It must be a nightmare. The like the block captain, she's probably a total bitch. She has that Karen haircut, and she's a stickler for the rules, right? Because it's the only power she has, and really the only job she has, because she already lives in Disney, and you know her husband is banging the secretary, so she can't like fuck her husband or anything like that. So she has to take it out on you because your grass is a 1/4 inch too high. I very specifically bought my house and not an HOA because I don't want other people telling me what to do with my property. I know the government exists, but I don't need a smaller government. I don't need a smaller government with some bitch on a power trip who drinks too much wine to come bitch because I have too many Amazon boxes on my front porch. No, thank you.
Fountain outside and all of the Mickey details in the railing and the chandeliers that were shaped like fireworks.
Bro, that's so ugly. I'm sorry. That's hideous. Could you imagine you just cut to the bathroom and she was like, yeah, there's the Mickey
cut
Mouse.
to the bathroom and you're pissing in Goofy's mouth, right? That I would be like, okay, this has won me over. The Goofy toilet where I have to pee into the, like, you know, and then the big Ursula bathtub. All right, okay, this is kind of fun. But that Mickey outside has to go.
This bidet. It's actually just a man in a Mickey Mouse outfit. He's kind of just spits water into your asshole. But don't worry. He's a cast member.
It's a living. That's what he says.
Like, these houses are just like the most sad mom on Pinterest houses you could possibly find. It's just all white walls, white floors,
hey, Rocky
snow
McCobb.
white ceilings. Like, everything is just white. And I'm going to take a guess and say that the neighborhood is as well. Let's keep going.
These houses.
No bog government, though? Oh, big. No bigger. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm 100% on board with you there, too.
Are like next level.
I was all like, how do you know I live in a bog? I do. I live in a bog. It's a swamp. I live in a swamp, right? We barefoot around here. We don't know shoes. Honestly, I'm fine living. Dude, I could live as like a Florida swamp person and like, you know, have the overalls with the one strap and stuff, and I'd be playing a jug and stuff. I'd be perfectly content. I'd whittle during my days. I'd be perfectly happy. As long as the cottonmouths don't get me and I get enough gator meat to sustain my family, I am good, you know?
But not like Disney paraphernalia and Disney like kind of threw up on it, like classy Disney.
Classy Disney? Classy Disney? Classy Disney? You ain't classy, bitch. You ain't classy. Why do you think you're classy just because you have your blonde loose curls that's dyed, obviously, because your roots are showing, and like you have this, oh great, you have a $60,000 car. Whoa. Oh, and your husband, who's again banging the secretary, doesn't love you. And neither do your kids. That ain't classy. That ain't classy. We need to reevaluate what the term classy means, right? Because I fucking hate how materialistic like the whole country is. The boomers were extremely materialistic, and the millennials adopted a lot of the last vestiges of that. But I feel like we are not getting the same things, and so we're kind of like looking elsewhere. And good, honestly, good, because materialism is the last thing you need. I mean, you need a family that loves you. You need a roof over your head at the very least. But people are too obsessed with materialism and class. It's like, why do you give a shit? Why do you give a shit what class you're in? Why do you give a shit if people think you're classy? Does it really matter? at the end of the day, does it really matter? Are you going to sacrifice your children's happiness so you can seem classy? Because I know people who've done that. It's not classy. It's trashy. But it's a type of trashy that you and your stupid blonde head don't understand because you watch too many fucking Disney movies.
Okay, that's my fucking favorite shot in the whole video. Yeah, it's not like in your face or anything. It's classy. It's classy Disney. You see this fucking Woody on your ceiling? Classy.
Classy Disney. There was an elevator and the
You think like the husband comes in dressed as Buzz Lightyear and bangs her? Look at this. Look at that. The veneers. The tan, which was not acquired by the natural sun. Because, no, this is from a tanning booth. Probably inside of Disney where there's Disney music playing and it's insufferable and like the fumes give you a headache. And yeah. Yes. She's look at her earrings, by the way. If you look closely at her earrings, that's Mickey. That's Mickey. She has Mickey diamond earrings. I hope she puts a gun in her mouth. Honestly, I don't like these people. I don't like people like this at all. I know exactly what kind of person she is. And she looks like she has too much gum. She's got like that too much gum ratio. You know what I mean? Like all gum and very little teeth. Like her face is trying to peel off of her skull because it can't stand her stupid opinions.
glass at the back of the elevator was all of the Beauty and the Beast stained glass theme.
Gay.
It was exceptionally gorgeous.
What kind of man would live here? What kind of man? Right. Okay. Like, I know, like, I don't really care for the most part where I live, as long as it has functioning things in it. Right. But if Jess was like, oh, I want to live in a Disney house where all the things are Disney themed, I'd be like, no. I wouldn't be with a girl like that, but I'd be like, no. Why? No. Fuck no. Why on earth would I want to do that? Why would I constantly want to be at Disneyland? I don't even like going to Disneyland. I don't understand the type of guy it would be. He's just checked out. He hates his wife and he's just completely checked out. Or he's a complete pushover and his wife has absolutely no respect for him.
Gorgeous.
I honestly, like, I can't fucking believe this. Like, this seems
Don't
like...
be a pushover. If you're in a relationship, don't be like the kind of guy that just like, okay, whatever you want, honey. Because women don't like that. They don't find that sexy, right? That's not an attractive feature for a man to have. Being able to walk all over you is not what chicks are into, but they'll try. They'll give you little shit tests, right? And see how much they can get away with. But you gotta cut them off right there and be like, nope, nope. But a lot of guys just let it happen. They're like, okay, yeah, whatever you want. And those guys get cheated on. They get cucked, right? And often they get divorce raped too. So you don't want to be that guy. Don't be that guy.
It seems like a bit, like they're doing a weird like sketch, like a really like high level satirical like commentary on like capitalism and consumerism, but it's real, man.
Kabuki Tut says, let's make our whole house like a baby room. Did you make your name Kabuki Tut specifically because of Daywave? Was that specifically Daywave? I think it is.
It's fucking real life. God, I hope you guys are as weirded out as I am, or I'm gonna feel like an asshole. This is just way overboard to me. Like I said earlier, if there was a Legend of Zelda theme park, I'd go there all the fucking...
Rocky McCobb says he can just cheat on her with dudes, though. Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me very much either. Right? A lot of those bitches, like, care about aesthetics, right? The facade that they have manicured their family to be. So they don't really care if their husband is gay, because as long as it doesn't get out and then she can kind of rub her beautiful family in other people's faces, even if they're not happy, then that's what is important to her. These people are shallow and hollow and empty inside, right? Empty, empty, empty people. No reasonable person that I would ever want to hang out with would live at Disneyland. Even go to Disneyland that often. I mean, I know Royce and Marie go to Disneyland pretty often, but that's just, I mean, they have good money and they live right next to it. And it's like, whatever. But like living there, living inside of Disney where you can't break, you know, you don't want to even leave the compound because out there is scary, right? It's like Judge Dredd. It's like Judge Dredd where inside the city you are safe and taken care of, but you leave the city and it's a desert. And you don't do that. You don't leave the city. You don't leave the city. This is how they want to set up 15-minute cities. And the Disney will be the higher caste. Caste as in like, you know, like the Indian caste caste, like a class system. Not like a Disney character.
In time. But if this house was Zelda themed, I wouldn't like Zelda anymore. But anyways, the girl making this video, she's like commentating throughout the whole thing. You know, she's like talking about the house and everything she saw and stuff. And she seems nice.
Eat Steak says, did I miss the orgy? No, it happens after the show.
Right? But there's this one clip.
But we all do it separately. So.
At the end, and I think it like totally.
Can I Skype into the orgy? Yeah, sure.
Totally describes the type of person who would want
just in a mask.
Want to move into Golden Oak.
I wanted to share that with you guys. If you ever have a big goal that you want to achieve, go
freaking
freaking check it out. Like, go look at it in person. Like, if you want to, I don't know, move to Hawaii, go visit Hawaii. Like, go see it. It'll make the dream.
Hawaii is fine and all, but like, it's like the locals can be violent and they're all meth heads. I'm just saying, I'm sure a lot of parts of Hawaii are very nice, but just watch out for the locals.
That much more real. And that's what I told Andre.
Andre, her husband's name is Andre. I don't know why that bothers me, but that bothers me. Andre? He sounds like a tool. He sounds like you married a tool. But she seems like an absolute bitch too.
Oof, it's that easy, huh? I never really thought of it like that. You know,
On the John says there's also space lasers. You have to watch out for space lasers anywhere you go. But I mean, if the space lasers come to Florida, they're going to have a tough time lighting everything on fire. Fires aren't just a normal thing here in Florida. Hurricanes, however, are, and I'm pretty sure they've been changing those and making those more powerful. But this is Florida. We can handle hurricanes.
Oh, I've always thought it'd be cool to sort of fly around, you know, be able to fly, take to the skies, if you will. Maybe I should just jump off of my roof.
Hey, Mayo.
Start flapping my arms and see what happens. I don't want to make an assumption about this person, but like, I don't know, dude. When you hear people say shit like that, you know they're just so far removed from the real world. People can't just go to Hawaii.
That's the whole point. The whole point is to be removed from the real world, the real poverty in the world, like the real issues in the world. People that live at Disney or Hawaii, for that matter, they've always lived in this cocoon, this moneyed cocoon where nothing has ever been a problem besides their own family interactions and stuff like that. They want to maintain that. Right. And doing that at Disney is very easy. You can do all your shopping. You can do all your entertainment inside the compound of Disney. They don't work. They don't have jobs. They just have tons of money. It is like an Elysium. Like, you guys remember that movie Elysium? I don't think it was that good, but it is like that, where it's a stratified class system, right? You have the underlings that work at Disney that are there to serve you, and then, you know, there's you, right? The upper class. And a lot of people want to pretend they're upper class when they don't have money. I know a lot of people do that aren't that financially well off, but try to put on airs or try to put across that they're very successful, and they bury themselves in debt. Which is funny to me. It's okay, fine, bury yourself in debt. So some people you don't like get jealous of you. Do that. You're stupid, but do that. Go ahead.
Why, man? People also can't just drop $10 million on a house inside of a theme park. I can't believe that's a sentence I just
Matt
said.
Damon.
I don't know, dude. I just think the whole concept of living inside a gated community inside of a theme park that was created by Walt Disney, it's just really scary to me, and I don't like it. Like, could you imagine living in a fucking Spike TV house?
Can you fart so hard your balls explode?
Okay, never mind. That'd be tight. But the Disney house in the Disney park, it's too far for me. The House of Mouse was a show, not a suggestion. But you know what? I think we've taken a pretty good look at all the different levels.
Did this guy just discover like how to do editing? Because I feel like he's just throwing in a bunch of weird random edits. And why does he have black fingernails? Why? He's got black fingernails and they're painted. It's not like he hit his hand with a hammer or anything like that. His nails are black because he painted them black. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
Of Disney adults. But
am I turning into Hank Hill? Am I turning into Hank Hill? I'm not I'm not very handy. But am I turning into Hank Hill? Where I just like hate hippies? Or whatever this thing is?
This is just from my perspective, an outsider looking in. If I'm going to truly understand Disney adults, I need to talk to one.
Big B Trucker says, I'd rather live on a double wide on 10 acres. This neighborhood sounds terrible. Yeah, me too. Any day, dude. 10 acres? Are you kidding me? Fuck yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Why would I want to live in this neighborhood with a bunch of cunty bitches everywhere trying to invite me to like social gatherings that I don't want to be at? Right? I have to go hang out with, your husband because we live in similar area. And no, I don't. I'm not overtly friendly like that. Jess is the friendly one in our relationship. And she reminds me of this. And I don't care. I'm not like that kind of guy. Right? I don't give a shit about social status and like what the neighbors think of me for the most part, right? Some people, that's their whole thing. That's their whole reason for being is just what other people think about them. And that seems sad. That seems boring, most of all.
It's a face. So let's go do that. Come on. Come on. Live.
Goofy Boots says Jess is plenty sweet for the both of you. Well, there you go. Right? She heard that. She's happy.
Saturday night. Or maybe not. There's a good chance you're watching this on literally any other night of the week. Or it could be during the day. I don't know. Starring Curtis Connor.
Yeah, fuck you,
This
Curtis.
is the talk show where we learn all things Disney adult. It's Disney Nice. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Disney on Ice. No affiliation with Disney on Ice. I'll be honest, this is just a crazy coincidence, okay? For legal reasons, I will say I had no idea that a name existed. All right, this, of course, is a show where we sit down, we talk to a real-life Disney adult and find out...
He's a millennial, right? Is this Zoomer humor? Is this how Zoomers? I don't get the young kids with their bussin', and I don't understand their comedy. But maybe I just don't understand comedy. I could believe that. I honestly could. And my jokes, some of them are bad. I will just admit that a lot of my jokes can be pretty bad. But I like making them, and so I continue to make them. A lot of my jokes are very dad jokes. And I make those for me because I find them funny. And I don't even know if you people exist. You could be figments of my imagination. Like, because I got in a car accident and I got knocked into a coma. And I'm just fantasizing that this is my life. And if somebody pulls me out, I will kill them.
What they're all about.
I will kill them.
I could blab about it.
I don't care if it's their fault or not. I could just wake out of it right one day and then I have like a beard and stuff and I'm all smelly and thin. And then I'll just be like, I'll kill the first person I see. I don't care. Robot or otherwise. Maybe I wake up in the future. I don't know.
It all day. But I think it's better if we hear it from the horse's mouth. That's right. Give it up, everyone, for the horse from Tangled.
On the John says their comedy tends to be pretty absurdist, but they also think stand-up comedy is all crowd work. God, dude, I hated people. I hated people that did nothing but crowd work. Like, I did stand-up comedy, like, semi-professionally for, like, a good amount of time, like a decade almost. And I hate, dude, so many people are so bad at comedy. Like, how do you not know you're this bad? How do you not know you're this bad? Like, you are bad, dude. The room is crickets right now. And I've seen you do this a bunch of times. Every time it's been crickets. And I'm not saying like it's not like a work in progress, right? Because comedy takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. It'll take a long time for you to get even a decent, like an okay 5 minutes. But if you're just bad, you have to accept that. You're bad, dude. You're bad at it, right? But a lot of people get a lot of, I don't know. Their masculinity is hurt. And if they're women, their whole sense of, I don't know. They also get very hurt but you know, they're held to a lower standard. No one expects women to be funny. So, but men, like, you're fucking delusional. How are you so delusional? You are so bad, dude. You go up night after night, and I see you just bomb your dick off over and over again. How do you do this to yourself? I mean, you have to respect the tenacity about it, but at a certain point, it's just like, dude, you got to stop. You're torturing yourself. You're absolutely torturing yourself. You're torturing yourself.
Yeah, I'm not the horse from Tangled. I'm Isaac.
Oh, sorry, Isaac. Sorry, folks. That's next week's episode. Well, you'll have to tune in for that.
Mayo Riot says Matt Geiger and the rest of the Geiger counters would not agree. Dude, I hope he gets, like, he's got a fan base. He's got a fan base. That Matt Geiger guy, I think he's going to be something. I think he's going to blow up. That Matt Geiger guy, I see some good stuff coming out of him. On God, you know, I'm just here, do the backswing and Jesus Christ, and I don't do it as good as Pessy. Pessy does it much better. I don't do that. Thanks for coming, guys. I hope you guys got as pissed off about Park Sloppers as I did. I know you didn't, because you guys seem more emotionally stable than I am. So there you go. Thanks for coming. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Get out there and make me proud. You know you do. Don't be one of these fuckers, dude. Don't do that. Don't, like, hide yourself inside your childhood. You have to grow and evolve and become a better person than you were yesterday. These Park Sloppers, these Disney adults, aren't better than they were when they were children. And that's sad. That's arrested development. And I want you guys better than that. I want you guys to succeed and evolve. If not financially, then spiritually. You know, on a lot of different levels. Just be better. Just do better. You guys are already doing great, and I love you guys. So get out there, make me proud, get a good night's sleep, drink a lot of water, and take care of yourselves, because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Good night.
There's this girl.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm I'm crazy, but I call it woke. Unraveling the madness with every word I spoke. I'm